Welcome to the Babies in Business Podcast. Join your hosts, Rachel and Avram Gonzalez, real-life parents and business partners. Each week on Babies in Business, Rachel and Avram create a space for entrepreneurial parents to find their own way. They'll dive into insights on topics like leadership, efficiency, self-awareness, budgeting, and human psychology as they nurture their family and build their business. Here's your hosts, Avram and Rachel.
Happy New Year. Here's episode, 65 now? These are our non-negotiables for 2025. We think that you'll find inspiration in these because if you're like us, you spent some time reflecting and thinking about your path forward over the holidays and might have put some new goals down, might have revisited or revised existing goals. But now you have to look at the frameworks that are going to support all that.
Yeah.
And that's why we decided to record this episode about non-negotiables. I think a fun way of framing what is most important to us in achieving our goals in 2025 with a particular focus, because this is the Babies in Business podcast, on making sure that you protect your family and nurture it.
Yep.
While you build the business.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and neither of them coming under fire for the other. So we're not sacrificing one for the other. Both of them are equally important in our family and in our business,
Yeah, they support each other. We've talked about this in previous episodes. If the house is burning on one side, the other side always suffers.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
And so it is a game of juggling and balancing, and it is always tipping one way or the other.
Right.
We think that these non-negotiables are going to help support us moving forward and keep us on track. Some of these are things that we've already embraced in the past.
Absolutely. Well, I think also, just to talk a little bit more about what you were just saying, we as parents, we're constantly juggling, parents and owners of a business, both sides. And sometimes it's a game of predictions. Predicting in the future. If we do this, then what is that going to lead to? And so these things that we're going to talk about, these non-negotiables, are really cool because they just simply set you up for success. Because if you have these already laid out and these are important to you, or maybe you create your own version of these things for you, it's like the guideposts on the road. You're not going to go past those because the safety is within those lines, those safety rails, So I'm really excited to get into this today.
Yeah, we got 12 of them. They're in no particular order, and I guess maybe not in any particular importance, although
No.
I would say the first one that we came up with really does support all the others. Oh, no, all the others support this first one.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's just something that's recently come up for us with the new baby that we've had.
Yeah.
We have 2 babies now, and our family is bigger than it
Yeah.
was. Our needs are a little bit different.
Our needs are different, and therefore non-negotiable number 1 for 2025 is growth.
Yeah.
And for us, this is in terms of clients and overall revenue generated, but it's also a mindset.
Absolutely. Well, some of the most enjoyable people that I know are growth mindset as opposed to scarcity mindset.
Oh, yeah.
You can think that there's not enough business in the world, so you're afraid to talk about who you're working with, or, all these different weird things that go on. And I just love those people that are really just, there's enough for everybody. And of course, I'd be happy to sit down with you, just that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Love that.
And if there's a problem, I am the solution to solving it. I can grow myself, my skill sets, my resources in order to meet that challenge.
Absolutely.
So that's the growth mindset part. And then the piece that made this so important for us as a main focus this year, and we've carved this up into some specific goals that we're not going to get into here, but as our family has grown, so have the needs of our family, and therefore so has the quote, pressure to produce increased. So it's really easy to just kind of sit back and be on cruise control with your business until you have kids.
Yeah.
Because you can feed yourself your own limitations and lies and then have this happy little life that you complain about certain things all the time It never changes.
Well,
You
when
don't
you look in the mirror,
have to grow.
when you look in the mirror, you can say, you know what, I created this reality and I'm okay with it. But when you have two more individuals in your life that deserve so much more than what we have been willing to settle for, I think that's really where we get that desire to grow and get and achieve more for our children, because they deserve more than we are willing to put up with. We've seen so many things. We've experienced so many things. When Lincoln is really super excited about the fact that he just learned how to climb into the refrigerator to get whatever snack he wants is a big deal to him, you realize that he has so much to experience in life.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the beginning for him.
Yeah.
And we want to give him more opportunities,
Yeah.
you know?
And money opens a lot of those doors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's the first one.
Yep.
Growth.
Yep.
Growth.
Absolutely.
Number 2, supports the growth. What is growth without profitability? So we have a non-negotiable in our business, and it's the profit first system of managing cash flow.
Yeah. You know, one of the like hallmarks of this is paying yourself first. You know, profit first. You need to pay yourself from your business first and day one, as opposed to, oh, down the road I'm going to be profitable. 5 years down the road, I have a profitability plan, you know, all that stuff. But profit first really has the way paved for you to have the ability to pull out profit from your business, in addition to just the owner's pay for yourself. So we have found such freedom and growth from this method in our business and in our personal life. So we don't feel bad pulling money from the business because we're not stealing from any one category. And we've actually become more profitable.
More profitable and
You know?
more at ease. When there's ups and downs in your business, when you take care of the cash flow and the profitability up front, your business can withstand the ups and downs
Right.
without them becoming emergencies.
Absolutely. And when you have, you know, Profit First has, just go listen to episode 14. We talk a lot about, you know, how you can cut expenses. There's really cool stuff that you can learn about that. There's more about this, but Profit First is so important because you just don't have to stress. If you're working it properly, you don't have to stress because you have the money for the certain things. You're keeping your business profitable because your margins truly exist. You have X% margin based off of your profit, all the things. Go check it out. There's a book. You can check it out. Check out episode 14.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It can really benefit your business.
Yeah. So many resources. You guys have heard us talk about it before. The third non-negotiable for 2025.
Hiring. So excited about this.
Well, what happened to this last year?
Well, we hired additional people. We took on some roles that were just in our lap for a while. We reinvented those roles. We found out the holes. We found all these things. And then we were able to delegate them to somebody else, pay somebody to come in and do this work. And it has been exceptional work and exceptional freedom for us.
Yeah. We lost a key team member about a year and a half ago. And so Rachel took half of her role. I took the other half.
Yep.
And basically we sat with those items, those responsibilities for a year.
Yep.
And then when our second child, August, showed up, we realized this is not sustainable.
And it's not going to get better. We're not going to get more time with 2 children as opposed to 1.
And so it sounds silly when you talk about it out loud that we didn't like hire for this sooner. But we just, I think, got caught in the mindset of like, well, we can do this. Like, we can handle this. We can manage it. But the reality is, as the business continues to grow, there's absolutely no way that we would be able to support that, and certainly not in the way that a new hire would.
But we also stumbled upon a really cool resource that taught us how to hire specifically that can help support these people that we are hiring, and what roles to hire for, and all the different strategies for that. So we felt really confident in the hiring process. The hiring process was actually relatively painless. We're super excited that we have these team members, and we are excited to grow multiple team members this year.
Well, and I'll do a plug for this. We'll put this in the show notes. If you go to babiesandbiz.com/65, that's this episode number, 65. We'll also put a resource in here that is a blog post and a video that I created on the Digital Harvest website, so our actual business, where you can learn about the different places and ways that we have hired and most recently found success doing that.
Sure.
We'll put a plug for that. I think the name of the blog post is like, who should your first hire be and how do you do it?
Sure.
But it applies to your second, third, fourth, fifth hire and stuff as well. It's just a real great loophole that we found. But we just really should not be business owners doing certain tasks, and there are other people that are better for it. And so the question shouldn't be like, how can we do this thing? It's, who can do this thing and
Well,
not be afraid to hire for that.
absolutely. And you can also have this thing, we have this rule that we've developed, and that is if you're spending more time on a task than 10 minutes and you're kind of spinning your wheels at that point, you need to think about training somebody, hiring somebody, getting someone to fill that role, because I tell you what, there is someone that absolutely thrives doing those kinds of tasks. And if you're spinning out at 10 minutes, it's not going to get better. 30, 40, 60 minutes, it's just not going to get better. So save yourself the time and the heartache, really, and get someone else that's better suited. And you can support a family.
Yeah, it's amazing. So we've got growth, profit first, hiring. Our fourth non-negotiable is to build systems and routines. So this is both the business side and the household. And the one thing that is most constrained while you're building a business with kids is your time.
Absolutely.
And your mental capacity to juggle things. So in the household, when you have certain routines,
Yes.
right? Like, what was
Simple
the one that we were
stuff like
talking about this
laundry. We were
morning?
talking about
Yes.
laundry, We have a really great system for laundry that helps us stay up to date with it. We're just never behind. And, we do get behind sometimes, but the system, if we follow it, it's just awesome.
Yeah, the routine
Build
is
some systems in the routine.
when one of the 5 bins fills up, you just take that one that's already pre-sorted.
It's already sorted.
And
Yep.
you go and you put in the laundry and you run that one load and you've got that one load.
And everybody knows how to process it. If it's whites, if it's darks, if it's this, if it's that, you don't have to wonder, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah, the other routine that we just invented this morning that goes along and tacks on to something that we've done before is when we have an alarm set for when we should get ready to go to bed. So part of that though is we get really irritated that all of our shoes end up in the living room, like around the table and stuff.
Or like socks or something,
All this stuff. And it's like, well, part of getting ready for bed isn't just brushing your teeth and getting ready for bed. It's like clearing that stuff, bringing it back to the master bedroom and
Right.
putting it away.
You don't have a toddler traipsing around behind you after the fact,
Yep.
That's often why I leave stuff out there, is because I can take my shoes off and he doesn't even notice it. But if I dare go in the bedroom, he's like, "Put my furniture, let's go." So,
One of the things that Fridays have become for us are a time that we work on the business
yes,
versus in the business. And so what we realize is if there's more than 1 week that goes by where you're not building a process or some kind of system to support your business and your team members, you're not actually getting any real leverage in the business. And you repeat
Correct.
Groundhog's Day next week or next month when that thing comes up again.
And you know what? What I love about the systems and the routines that we've created in our business is that we have already gotten so much more time to work on the business within the last quarter than we had the entire first 3 quarters of the year.
Yes.
So it's really incredible when you do things consistently with routines and you get your time, you get more freedom, you have less emergencies, you have better efficiencies because you're doing things at the time that they need to be done, as opposed to, oh gosh, this should have been done 3 weeks ago. Or you also, you do things in a specific cadence so everybody can get used to that. And then we're not always up against the timelines.
Yeah, you get these little footholds by building. Every time you build a little system, you get an extra foothold that you can use to reach your next set of goals.
Absolutely. And you get a little bit more ahead every single time. There's a couple of episodes that we thought would be really good to look back on, episode 30 and 31.
Episode 30, building processes to support your strategic plan.
Yep.
And episode 31, the hidden time hijacker, simple systems to get back lost time. Both of those, deep dive on both of these subjects.
Yeah, we thought those were really, really great. Now, another one that we thought, this non-negotiable, it's actually really, really important. And this is kind of, this is one of our hallmark go-tos right now, is saying no.
Saying no. Yeah, I think that a lot of us have a people pleaser inside of us.
Absolutely.
And also as entrepreneurs that are visionaries, you get hold of a good idea and man, you are pumped up and jazzed to take it on.
Absolutely.
So it's very easy to say yes, and it's very easy to have great intentions to follow through on a request that somebody makes.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, both your time is strapped and your energy is strapped as an entrepreneur with a family at home.
Absolutely.
So you can't really afford to say yes.
No, you can't. Especially if it's outside of those. So if you have limits for the kinds of clients that you say yes to or that are ideal for you, have the courage to say no to those that are not ideal for you. If you're if you're a cleaning company and you're saying yes to businesses and no to residential, but you have a friend that wants you to come over and clean their house and they're like offering you 3 times the money, I think you still say no to that because it breaks your systems. There's so many things outside of what you do on a regular basis that apply to cleaning a business that don't apply to a house. There's so many other things. And that's just an example. It's just the thing that came up for me. But when you say no, you are truly valuing your time and allowing it to be magnified, multiplied when you say yes to those other kinds of clients that are ideal and give you that sweet spot of profitability.
Yeah. I mean, somebody asks you for any type of request.
Yes.
First instinct, no.
Exactly.
Get used to just saying no.
And then rethink it. Be
And
like,
then rethink it.
Should I rethink that? Would it be worthy of me considering it?
Yeah, and give it
But
a
the
day.
instinct be no instead
No.
of yes, because it's harder to retract a yes than it is a no.
Yeah. So I thought about this a little bit longer, and I think I can help you out. And they're like, what?
Instead of, yes, I can. No, actually, I can't. What? I said no to this other thing and no to this thing and what? You really disappoint people. And it's the reverse. You say yes instead.
Yeah.
So this other non-negotiable, I absolutely love. And we determined this actually with Lincoln.
No.
Wasn't it?
2020.
2020. Oh, it was
So
2020.
the next one is
Okay.
no morning meetings.
Correct. Because our morning meeting disappeared.
Yeah.
Because it was other than that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
We used to
got it.
have like these networking meetings that we'd go to, like chamber events and stuff like that would start at 8 o'clock. We had another
Some that was 7.
We had another networking event that was like a 7 o'clock standing meeting, very early. In 2020, all that stuff shut down.
Right.
And we found ourselves really enjoying, this is pre-kids,
Yep.
the time that we had together, just rolling out of bed whenever,
Yep.
grabbing that cup of coffee and some breakfast and just easing into the day.
Right. We didn't have to rush out to a meeting and then grab breakfast on the backside of that and get to work early or later and just all the things that come along with an early meeting, and it just gets more complicated with kids.
The other thing is, your best, most focused, productive time is in the morning.
Yeah.
So being able to like go straight into the office and get into your focused work is more important than any meeting that you can do outside the office. Obviously, I'll take a sales meeting before noon,
Absolutely.
but I'm also
Absolutely.
not going to take it at 8 a.m.
No,
I'm going
correct.
to take it when I know that everything is settled, family's good, and
Correct.
our workday begins.
Well, yeah, like there's a work hour for a reason. You work towards being ready for that time. And if anything comes up earlier than that, you literally are stealing time away from family because that's the time that you spend with your family. And if your kids go to school, even more so because you're actually dropping them off, you're going to work, you separate for the day. We have little ones right now, so we're not separating like that yet.
So we're continuing that one on from previous years, no morning meetings. We got a couple here. We're running the back half. The next one we got has to do with exercise and daily movement. I mean, how much needs to really be said about that? It's been transformational for us.
It was something that came about for us when Lincoln was born, and it was September after he was born. So September 2022. And you wanted something for yourself. And I just started, researching different places that you could join. What kind of gym, this gym, that gym, what are you looking for, a personal trainer, looking at all the options. And it just became really evident just how much he loved it and thrived on it, and both me as well. But I've had 2 kids since then. So my journey has been a little bit different. But the daily working out, exercise, awareness of our body has been super key, and it's really non-negotiable. This is something that we do. Like, we have this transformation challenge. It's called Transformation Challenge at Orange Theory, where we attend for the gym. And that starts in the middle of January. And I decided I want to participate. So we have a really rigorous schedule in the second half of January, February, and then the first half of March to get through it. It's an 8-week challenge push. But we had to strategically plan out our days at the gym. It's a little bit different. Right now we go every other day, but in that way, we're working on muscle, so building muscle. And we got to hit these specific classes. So we created a system for us to make that happen. And it's a non-negotiable. So we created a system around making it happen.
Yeah, we created a schedule.
Yep.
Because we knew
schedule.
if it wasn't put together way ahead of time, it wasn't going to happen. And then at that point, you're negotiating it.
Yep.
So it's a non-negotiable.
Exactly.
It's already on the calendar.
Yep. It's already there. And so we always know this day it's this time, that day it's that time, done. Awesome. So super excited about that. Now, speaking of excited,
Yeah, Rachel's
this
love
is one of
language.
my most exciting ones. I love this.
Yeah, and it's budgeting. In particular, this is the household budget because that's really where
Correct.
we've cut our teeth in budgeting.
Correct. Profit First takes care of the business side of the budgeting aspect, and then budgeting is for our personal side. But what I love about budgeting is it really helps you accomplish stuff a lot. If you still hear this word and you cringe, you don't understand budgeting. People, if you're cringing, probably think that it is limiting your spend. It's a limiter. Budgeting is also a synonym for limiting, but it's not. If that's how you're feeling, it's really not. Budgeting is all about putting money into specific buckets where you have the permission to spend it. We have buckets that are money specifically for you, Avram, and money specifically for me. I don't have to ask you about spending that money, nor do you have to ask me. So that's just one of the buckets in our personal budget that allows us to spend without talking to each other, have that freedom to spend on what we want. And it's not even a ton of money.
No.
But that's one aspect. So budgeting really, it's a non-negotiable because it's helped us accomplish a lot of different things.
Well, we'll just come right out and say it. We crushed like 20,000,
Oh, more than that.
25,000
Yeah.
in consumer debt in the
Absolutely.
course of like
Well, if we
2
include the car, it's
years.
probably more than that, more like 30.
Yeah, and our budget is what allowed us to do that.
Yep.
And to feel really confident every single month putting extra money towards that car loan, you know.
Because we also have what is called a debt snowball. You know, if you pay off one car payment or whatever that is, a credit card, you roll that money. If it's $85, you roll that money into this other snowball. Maybe it's $1,500 at the point. You roll that in there, and then you have a bigger snowball to put towards
the
something
next
else.
thing.
Yeah.
That's what
Crush
budgeting
it
allowed us to do, and it continues to be important because once all of my student loans and things get paid down, well, what's next? It's all of the investments and other things that we're going to do to build wealth and build all that.
Yep. So if you still have a bit of a cringe about budgeting, Dave Ramsey is a great place to start. I'll give him a plug. He's got a lot of systems. He talks about having a quick win. If you got stuff that you're trying to crush with debt, check him out. He has so many good, awesome things. There's an app you can start with. We love Good Budget, and they now connect to your bank account, so it is an automatic thing. You're not having to draft that in manually. That's an update as of recently, so
Yeah.
plug there.
Cool. We got 4 more here. Another non-negotiable we started this year and we're going to continue next year, is date night.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, what a gem of a thing to include in your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kids will just consume all of your time.
Yeah,
And
and
so
so can work.
it can work. But we just found that the kids tend to be a little bit more vocal about wanting you, needing you,
Yes,
versus the business. Business doesn't really scream at you the same way.
it's true.
So we've done episodes about this before. One in particular, episode 47, we called it Love or Weeds, Essential Tips for a Thriving Marriage. And one of the core parts of that was talking about date night and why that's been so important and why you really shouldn't sleep on it.
Yeah, date night, do it.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it right now, do it.
Yeah.
Instead of asking or making excuses like, I just can't do it, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, whatever it is, whatever those excuses are, you do it for a month straight, so 4 weeks straight, it's going to change you and you'll never go back. This will become a non-negotiable for you.
Here's the deal. You can trade date nights with another couple.
Absolutely.
And you know what? You can
Get creative.
You can go for a walk and just get out of the house for an hour and a half. That doesn't cost any
Absolutely.
money, but
Nope.
you need the time with your spouse.
Correct. And time may cost the money. You may be hiring someone to come and sit with your kid for that time for you to go for a walk, but be creative. It is so worth it.
Mm-hmm. You can finish a conversation with your spouse without being interrupted. It's a pretty incredible thing.
It's transformational. It's really important.
Yep. The next non-negotiable we have comes back to something that's been core to us, and you've heard on previous podcasts, but it's to actively network.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is when we count back the incredible things that have happened for us, a lot of them can be traced to particular conversations
Oh,
or
yeah.
people or
Well, the meaningful conversations, we find that, let's just talk about the business. We do business with people that have talked to us. If we're not having those conversations, it's not happening. Referral partnerships. We have this partnership that's going on, that we're working on a deal right now, and that happened because of networking. I mean, we got together because of networking, if you
We
think
did.
about it.
Yeah, we met at the Rio Rancho Regional Chamber of Commerce once upon a time.
We sure did.
And that romance flourished at BNI. Just kidding. Uh-huh.
Other
That's
people
how we
brought us
met.
together. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yep.
So networking continues to be an important part of life in our business. And I can just see based off of, the networking that I did 10, 15 years ago, those relationships are coming back around now. And there's
Absolutely.
opportunities. So what's it going to be like when we're 50,
Yes, and
55?
I think it's just so important. Remember, I heard this quote one time, and I thought, "Whoa!" I was just blown away. If you treated every relationship like it would last 100 years, what would you do differently? I just love that. I take that into just networking, talking to people, doing business, all sorts of things. If people would know you for 100 years, what would you do differently? We have an episode 50, building a local support group with BNI. Go check that episode out. It's pretty cool. It talks about what we've gotten out of BNI and what that looks like, and these really cool relationships that have really come full circle for
Yeah,
us.
we highlighted 5 different stories, both business and personal, where the relationships that we built through BNI were critical at different moments in our life and career.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the way that we're going to actively network is primarily through BNI. We found a lot of success doing that, but we're also going to be like widening our horizons and just looking up and continuing to meet with new people and go deeper with the people that we really care about and that we can form a reciprocal type of relationship.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, and then this next one, give them time. And this is regarding kids. Kids want your time more than anything. They want your time, and that's why this is a non-negotiable. Our weekends and our afternoons are for our children. Lincoln participates in Kid Strong. It's a really cool class. It's like gymnastics for little kids, and he gets so much out of it. It's just one of those things. Again, we have an episode 44, prioritizing family, lessons from the 93% statistic, talking about 93% of the time we will spend with our kids is before they're 18. So if we're not actually giving them the time, they're not going to get the time, and we will never get it back. And eventually they're going to find out who we are and decide if they want to be around us. So let's be the people that our children do want to continue an adult relationship with after they've moved out and moved on, have a spouse of their own and children possibly. They're going to find out just exactly who we are if they like us.
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit about this, some of our short-term goals for 2025. One of them is to relieve Rachel of her day-to-day activities as client happiness officer for our business Digital Harvest for a variety of different reasons. But number one is to spend more time with the boys. So that way, every afternoon, Rachel can be there, be fully present, and not feeling the tug to have to check something on her phone or do something for the business. Just be there.
Right.
I can take sporadic meetings and things as necessary in the afternoons, but otherwise,
more
be around and
sales
hang out.
meetings for you, but we want to hire somebody to come in and fill the role for me, that is client happiness officer, and that's being tied to a specific time for a specific meeting for clients each and every month, whatever that time frame looks like.
Yeah. So we're just putting these things in place to support this non-negotiable, right? And
that doesn't mean I'll be totally out of the business. I will still be doing project management, a lot of other things that I'm really, really good at, but it's on the not client-facing side, which makes it so that I can do it at those times that the boys are napping or doing other things, and that can be as needed and as the time comes up for me. It's not a time-sensitive kind of thing. I love this other non-negotiable. Oh,
it's actually our last one, I think.
It is. It's our last one, but I just love it because it's so important. It kind of goes along with date night, I think. Rest and recharge.
You can even call it downtime.
Yeah, exactly. But being purposeful about having it, having time with each other, with your family, with your kids, whatever that looks like. Special trips in the evenings that you have with your spouse, but it's more than just date night, one time a week. Hopefully this is more regular. Like for rest and recharge, that when I think about it daily. We need some time daily to check in with each other. Have these rituals, these routines that we do to end our day, begin our day, and do that together. Yeah. That's what I've loved about this part.
We take a full hour, sometimes an hour and a half for lunch to fully unplug from the business stuff.
Yeah.
Our mornings, even though we're separate, one person is usually at the gym, the other person's at home. I think there's a little bit of time in the morning before like both babies are up and stuff. There's some recharge time, and then because of the way that bedtime is scheduled now, and August is able to go 8 hours in the night without feeding, we have this like hour and a half, 2 hour chunk after Lincoln goes to bed and before we go to bed.
That has been
It's
amazing.
really important. And we kind of lost that for the first, it feels like 6 months of August's life.
Oh, absolutely. I found myself just getting really, really worn down by the fact that I felt like my life consisted of giving of myself, whether that be through breastfeeding or time or energy, whatever that is, soothing, all those things. And then I just rinsed and repeated, and there was no downtime with you and no talking with you. And, you're having to decipher how I'm feeling because we're never really talking and all the stuff. And so it was the beginning of December-ish that we
Sure.
changed the schedule, and it's really made a difference for me.
Yeah.
It's been huge. So the resting and recharging, being able to be kid-free, have that time, let my body rest. I'm sleeping better. I'm sleeping more time all at once and sleeping better all in all.
Yeah, it's amazing. A quick recap of our 12 non-negotiables for 2025, and then we got some fun stuff to share with you here at the end. Number 1 is growth. Number 2 is profit first. Number 3 is hiring. Number 4 is building systems and routines. Number 5 is saying no. Number 6 is no morning meetings. Number 7, exercise, keep it moving. Number 8, budgeting. Number 9, date night. Number 10, actively network. Number 11, give them time. And number 12, rest and recharge. These are all things that we are finding will support our goals in building a business while nurturing our family. We're really curious, though, what some of your non-negotiables are. So if you go to babiesandbiz.com/65, that's the episode show notes with all the resources and other podcasts that we talked about today. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, there's a question there, and it's, what are your non-negotiables for 2025? Share at least one or more than one. We'd love to hear them, hear how some might be the same as ours or different. Just always curious to see what's going on with other families, what's working, and what you're loving.
Yeah, absolutely. And we, at the end of this, we really want to help you come and support us, learn more about us, and have fun with us at the booth. We're going to be at the B2B Expo in January 15th at the Convention Center here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Our booth number is 19. We have prizes. We want you to come and undress a baby doll, change the diaper on the baby doll, and dress it again, all while answering questions. And whoever can do this in the best time will win a Yeti ice chest cooler. What is it? Cooler?
It's like a
really cool
$350 cooler, like a really sweet Yeti cooler.
Second place prize is a Kindle Paperwhite.
The really good one.
Yes, and the third place prize is really cool loop earplugs for those of you that have needs for earplugs. Maybe that's kids, maybe that's concerts, maybe that's driving, whatever that thing is. But we're really excited about this. And then we have a raffle drawing as well. But please come down and support us January 15th here in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Convention Center.
Yep. We'll have all that information over on the website in the show notes. You can learn more and you can register for that event there and then see our booth and all the other fabulous business owners that are going to be there too.
Yeah, excited to be in 2025 and see what it brings.
Yeah. So thanks for listening. Appreciate you for coming out to this episode.
Bye for now.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Babies in Business podcast. Who do you know that would benefit from hearing this episode? Share it with them and post about it on social media. You can find the show notes for this episode, free downloads, and connect with the rest of the community at babiesandbiz.com. We'll see you next time.